So, Bloxburg updates seem to have changed a little bit. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, so as you all know by now, Bloxburg has been sold, or at least what we know is sold to Coffee Stain Studios, which is a game studio that hosts different games like Satisfactory, Goat Simulator, and now Bloxburg as well. And there was an announcement from Coeptus and the Bloxburg team that said they added new people to the team and new people are actually working on the team. And I feel like we're actually starting to notice changes in the updates already. Now, I'm not saying that this is a negative thing, so please keep watching the video. So the first change I noticed, and it's a very subtle one, but it does imply that Coffee Stain is already working together with Coeptus and Froggy Hops on the Roblox updates, or on the Bloxburg updates, seeing the latest Valentine's Day update. If you go to an item now, it doesn't say made by Froggy Hops anymore. Now, I think that's because since Bloxburg was sold, they also sold everything in the game, so it probably does not belong to Froggy Hops or Coeptus anymore. So if Froggy Hops makes something, that means once he's added it to the game, it no longer belongs to him. It belongs to Bloxburg, the title Bloxburg, or the game company Coffee Stain, basically. And so if you scroll over items now, you will actually see that it no longer says made by. It has no credit, so it's made by the studio, basically, and that's what we have. That's what we have to live with now. But I still love the latest stuff from the update, and I'm sure Froggy Hops is still very much included in building them. Then next up is not a single focus, and this is a really good thing. For example, when Basic Shapes came out, I think it was 2020, it could have been 2019. When Basic Shapes came out, basically a few updates after that were all related to Basic Shapes, and people who didn't want to play with Basic Shapes were kind of left in the dark because the development was so focused on Basic Shapes and everything to do with that. We did have the water slides right after that, which was a whole other controversy. And now I feel like even though we did get the transform tool, we are still getting a lot of different stuff and more different stuff geared towards every single player in the game. Meaning that, for example, with the Valentine's Day update, usually like last year, I think we got the bears and that was it. The rest was from the year before. And usually the Valentine's update is also quite dry because I do think after the whole Christmas period, Froggy and Coeptus deserved a much needed break. But right now we are seeing a lot added to the Valentine's Day update as well. For example, the statue, the couches, the magazines, basically stuff that is staying as well. And it's not solely focused. For example, I was scared that this year was going to be all about the transform tool and adding more stuff to the transform tool. And I'm actually happy to see that they branched out a little bit. And even the Valentine's Day update is not necessarily a complete Valentine's Day update we're used to seeing. So I'm very happy about that as well. And that brings me to my next point, and that is seasonal updates are focusing more on future content. So what we've seen with the Valentine's Day update, so as I said before, last year and the year before that, it was really focused on Valentine's. So we didn't really get anything else that stayed in the game that was permanent. All of the stuff was kind of seasonal, like the heart confetti, the bears that we've gotten, the flowers, what else did we have last year? Did we have the hot chocolate last year? I'm not sure anymore, but we did get some foods that you could place as well. I don't think there was anything significant added that stayed in the game. There was a lot of fun stuff though, like we did get the heart frames and stuff like that. But I feel like right now with the couches, we have new tables, which isn't something that we usually get during a Valentine's Day update. The Valentine's Day update is usually a little bit dry. Then there was the broken heart, the coffee mug, the newspaper. So basically, they really did branch out with this one. And I feel like we're getting more and more updates like that, or we will get more and more updates like that in the future since more people will be working on the game. And then something else that I think is really fun are the Easter eggs. So this is the first update that really has Easter eggs. I mean, we've gotten some Easter eggs before, but not really related to something bigger or the bigger picture. And right now, there's two major Easter eggs in the game where it really relates to Coffee Stain now, and it really keeps players reminded that Coffee Stain is working on Bloxburg. But one Easter egg is on the newspaper. If you zoom into the newspaper, you will actually see a Coffee Stain on it, and it is the Coffee Stain logo. And then the other Easter egg is if you turn the mug with the spilled coffee upside down, you will see that it has the logo of Coffee Stain as well. And I think those are really fun additions and really add detail to the game as well. And so overall, why I think Bloxburg updates updates are changing is because it's no longer two people deciding over what's coming next and two people working on what's coming next. So that's why, for example, with the basic shapes, because we've gotten so many updates with them and a lot of people got angry, I don't think that will happen anymore because some people can focus on that and then other people can focus on other stuff. And that's really exciting for me because the game will grow so much faster, and I don't think we'll have as many controversial updates anymore as we used to have. Keep in mind as well that if Coeptus is down, like if he struggles with mental health or something like that, I don't know that, but let's say he does, and that lasts for 4 or 5 months or even longer, he still has to pump out the same quality of updates because he and Froggy Hops are the only people working on those updates, and now that's no longer the case. And I think that will also help enlighten the mood of Froggy and Coeptus to build updates because they know that there's a whole other team behind it that can help with ideas they have, things they want to add to the game. Now, then there's something else that I want to mention, and that is the leak accounts. Now, we have seen in the past that some things have been leaked that were not added to the game. For example, the teapot and the teacups, they were not added to the game. I feel like if people are gonna scoop private inventories, this is gonna happen more and more because there are a lot of people working on the game. So that means a lot more items are going to be created, maybe created 2 years before they are added to the game, but they will be stored on an account or something like that. If someone who hacks, or well, is it really hacking? Someone who goes into a private inventory sees that and leaks it. For example, let's say there's a sports update coming and suddenly people are leaking new soccer goals, new fitness stuff, but that stuff is only planned for 2 years in the future for an update that fits more with the theme. I think we'll see more leaks that won't come true, and that will kind of ruin some reputation in a way. But I mean, we've been over the whole private inventory thing. It's sad that it's so easy to go into someone's private inventory and leak items. So keep the leaks that you see, or take the leaks that you see with a grain of salt, because I don't think all of them will come to the game. Some items might be scrapped. Don't see it as something that's certainly coming to the game. Leak accounts only share what they have seen in an inventory and not what's actually planned or coming to the game, because only the Bloxburg team knows what's coming to the game and not the leak account. So take those with a grain of salt. I'm against leaking private inventories anyway. I like to wait for the update to come and then see people's reactions, because, and that's one thing that frustrates me with those leak accounts, is if something gets leaked and it doesn't get added, then the entire update gets overshadowed by that one item that wasn't added to the game. Lately, people have been really focused on a color wheel, and some leak accounts have played into that. And then when a color wheel doesn't come in the next update, even if the update is really good, then it gets completely overshadowed by people saying, oh, we don't have a color wheel, but that was leaked. I saw a color wheel in the leaks, stuff like that. Instead of focusing on what we do have and what we did get added into the game. But that's a whole other story, and that's my personal frustration, but I did want to mention that. But so, to come back to the video, my consensus is Bloxburg updates are changing and it's going to be positive. I like what we've gotten in the Valentine's Day update, definitely with the cups. The Easter eggs are a lot of fun. It's kind of strange not seeing Made by Froggy Hops anymore. That was kind of like a staple in every new update to check whether it was made by Froggy Hops or someone else that they hired, even though that didn't happen a lot, but it was always fun to see that. So we probably won't really have that anymore since all of the assets are now owned by a company. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts on the future of Bloxburg. Are you scared? Are you excited? Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.